welcome to Refuel. I'm your host, Corey McLean, and this is the show where I sit down with entrepreneurs and creatives to find out how they do their work and what makes them tick. This episode, I sit down with Carlie Pipe. Carlie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So, who are you and what do you do?
Okay, well, like you said, my name is Carlie Pipe. I'm a copywriter. I produce radio advertising. I also work in radio and broadcast as an announcer. And I'm a boss lady. I think that sums it up.
So, what are you working on right now?
Oh my gosh, right now I'm trying to do a lot more of my own creative style work. I get a lot of commercial work right now, which is really, really great, but in terms of being able to express myself as a creative, I have to kind of find that balance where I can find time and put aside time to do that. So for instance, right now I'm working on a musical and visual experiment with a couple of artists from Barbados. So I can't say much more about it than that because it's still in its infancy, but I'm really excited about that because music is definitely a big passion of mine, so is writing. So to get to combine those is going to be a lot of fun.
Let's backtrack a little bit. How did you get to this point? Give me a little bit of your background.
Okay, how did I even become me?
How did you become you?
So since I was a child, I always had like scrapbooks, like empty blank notebooks where I would just write stories, just whatever. So I knew that was going to be something that I wanted to do, I guess, for a living, for a career. But I don't think at that time, because I must have been, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, I really knew how to make that a career. So you might think, when you think of working as a writer, you probably just think of writing books and being an author.
Right.
But that's not really the direction I ended up taking. So what I did is, before I went to university, I was actually working as an intern in an advertising agency. So I got into the advertising setting where writing becomes more of a headline, copy. You write for websites, you write articles, maybe. Yeah, so not anything to do with books, completely different. Not fictional, let's say. So when I went to university, or when I was looking at what I should be studying, there was a course in professional writing. Okay. And I was like, yes, this is the one for me. My parents were like, you sure you don't want to do something a little more businessy? So it was I had to kind of give and take a little bit, but what I studied was creative writing, so like poetry and that kind of thing, because I've always been writing poetry as well, which I shall never ever publish. But
why not?
The actual reason why not is because I don't see the commercial benefit yet. See, I don't do creative just to do it, kinda. Which is kind of a problem too, because that's why I'm trying to work on this whole musical visual project, because I have so much creative energy that I have to kind of put into something that isn't necessarily going to be a commercial venture. When I figure out how poetry is going to make money, then I'm going to, then you will see, So to go back to me getting a sort of a educational foundation in writing, I did this degree in professional writing and communications. Really, is sort of a dual degree. So that's the commercial and the creative kind of holding hands and whatnot. And then when I came back to Barbados, I started working in an agency, and it kind of went from there. When I was working in the agency, I saw a lot of opportunity in terms of recording radio production. And since I married a musician, I kind of forced him to start a studio. Forced maybe a strong word.
If you happen to have all the equipment anyway, yeah. You might as well.
You make music, you can as well make it for me.
Right. Okay, so you studied creative writing.
Yeah.
At York.
Yes, that's correct. At York University. I actually got a scholarship from York, and I went to York to be smart.
Okay, so how did you decide that what you wanted to do was creative writing as opposed to something more traditional?
Well, to take some things out of it, I wasn't so good at science. So
okay, so that's doctor.
My only other thing I ever wanted to be was like a vet. And if you ain't doing good on a biology SBA, you ain't cutting open nobody's, fluffy and sending it home. So
sounds about right.
It was like, this is the thing that I am good at. And this is the thing that I have inside of me that I know I want to do for sure.
But was it that this thing that you were good at, or was it something calling you?
I think the calling makes you consistently practice it and consistently do it, and therefore you get better, I think. You might have a calling to play tennis, but if you don't pick up a racket and you don't practice all the time, you'll never get as good as you can be. So like my constant writing, I think that helped a lot. But then being able to study this like organic thing that I was doing, to be able to actually study it and learn things like sentence structure and grammar, and it sounds really dorky and boring, but it makes a difference.
Because you had the passion for it
in
the first place.
And I was like, oh yay, now I can correct everyone.
You came back from you got into the advertising agency life. What was that?
That was really foundational for where I am today, for sure, because I honestly feel as much as it's really good to be an entrepreneur if that's the type of person that you are, sometimes you need like a structure in place to kind of figure out the way. I feel like people fresh out of university don't always kind of know certain things. Like they don't have that sort of infrastructure in place. They might be really well educated, but not necessarily in terms of the way business is done, for instance. So that was really, really good for me because it taught me, and I think that is what separates me from a lot of other writers, to be quite frank. It taught me to think in terms of concepts, to think conceptually about the work that I'm doing. So for instance, when I write a magazine article, I'm not just interviewing a person and writing down what they said. My articles come with a concept, like, what am I really talking about? Am I likening this to like a stroll on the beach and it feels really easy and you can kind of feel that like relaxed like tone of voice? Okay, then that's my concept and that's what I'm going with, you know? That makes sense.
Right. So
because like advertising is campaign. It's like bubbles, right? So that's how it.
So then you take little bits from your writer life, and then you take that into your ad agency woman life, your mad woman life.
My mad woman life.
And you kind of cross-pollinate the two.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so that was one of my questions to you, because you have these different personas. And how do they then go between the writer,
right? I feel like they're all
women.
Yeah, there's a common kind of a thread running through them. Even though people ask me what I do, and I don't know what to say. It's so many things, but they're all sort of related. So, for instance, copywriting is one thing, which is in advertising. Radio production is linked to that because, well, I write radio scripts, and then we produce them, and I get to work with music. So, therefore, from music, I work in radio. I'm an announcer. I write music, I write songs, and we work with artists.
Makes sense.
And it all suddenly makes sense, exactly.
Yeah. So
that is one thing I would say is important for people as well, is to not do too many things that aren't related.
Okay.
So while I kind of can't say don't do too many things, because I do a lot of things, they're all within one sort of platform.
Within the realm of similarity.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though they're different.
Yeah.
Even though they're different industries, they're still within the same skill
Same
set.
umbrella and same, yeah. So like don't be a copywriter and cut grass. They're two different.
Okay. Cool.
You won't be able to streamline, I think, effectively.
Okay. Walk me through your creative process in terms of Creek. Because Creek Productions, that is where you do your radio and ads and all that stuff for agencies and individuals.
Yeah.
So walk me through that.
So the recording studio is based at my house. So essentially I work from home. So I put on short pants. That's the first thing. Get comfortable. I find that I'm most creative in the morning, like early when I get up and like I've had a sleep and my mind is ready and it hasn't been tired from a whole day of outing fires or whatever. I kind of immerse myself a little bit in the topic that I am going to be talking about or that I'm going to be writing about. So let's say it's car batteries, might be something I might have to write about today. So maybe I'll watch a documentary on vehicles. Maybe I'll listen to music that lyrically speaks to going fast or speed or driving or something that is gonna kind of spark that, like, oh, here are the words that I'm looking for, the terminology that is associated with driving and cars and batteries and that kind of thing. So I immerse myself in the topic, and from there it comes.
It comes. Okay, so you just let it come.
Kinda. I mean, I've been doing it for so long now. Like, it's been almost 10 years I've been doing this professionally, that before I even start, I already know what I'm doing.
So obviously, because you're not doing this just for fun, there are deadlines.
Yeah. That. Okay. If you're just gonna be like creative and whatever, you ain't gonna be able to make no deadlines. But if you're looking at it as, I'm taking this creativity and I am making it like business or like a commercial venture, and I'm gonna make it's work, then it's just like doing work, kind of. One thing I have huge respect for is deadlines. I will always meet deadlines, because if I miss a deadline, I cry inside. I feel like oh my god, I've let myself down.
I think that might be the difference between me and you, because I don't know that I do well with deadlines.
Really? I love them. I don't mind.
In terms of my creativity,
I'm like an ASAP person.
No,
I'm like 10 minutes ago, no problem.
No.
Doing it right now.
Personally, for me to be creative, I need space.
Really?
And I need to allow an idea to fester.
Yeah.
Grow.
Festering is good,
and
though.
I need to have the space that it can become whatever it wants to become, rather than me decide what it will become. But then I don't create specifically for other people.
Right. You're creating for yourself.
Right. So
What's that like?
what's that like? That is like, okay. You get, it's kind of like a whisper.
Yeah.
You get a whisper, and then you listen to the whisper, and it's like, okay, this is something that I can go with.
Yeah.
Well, so then you listen to it, and you hear something that doesn't exist, and you get a little curious, and you spend a little time on it, and you get a little bit of a nugget, and you leave it. Just let it grow.
It's like a little pearl growing
a little
inside
pearl
a little
growing
oyster.
inside the oyster, right? I just leave it and let time take care of it. And for me, how my process works is that I always have a notebook.
I love writing things down.
Right. And unlike you that type, I must write with a pen on paper.
When you're doing stuff.
I must write on paper or whiteboard. When I whiteboard,
Whiteboard's no fun.
it's like a storm happening, and like my entire brain just like spills onto the whiteboard at the same time.
Yeah.
And if I were to do that out loud, you cannot ask me at the end what I just said, because I have no idea what I said. But I'll just go, right? And
all these tools that we have.
yeah, and why I like
The
to
great
use
technology of
Yeah.
whiteboards. But they're so
and paper.
effective.
Why I like paper is because I'll write on it and then I'll store it away. And I won't look at it for days, weeks, sometimes months. And I'll come back to it fresh eyes, and then I can.
See, to me that would be dead. I'd be like, paper, you're dead to me. It's been
No.
months. It's been too long.
When I come back to it, then I realize I just had this brilliant idea. And when I look at the paper, I realize, no, I had this idea months ago, which means it must be good.
Yeah.
It must be the direction that I want to go in, because it's something that I just had all this energy and passion about suddenly, when I realized that I had that same energy and passion about it before.
Yeah.
So then I can put that into the concept and then go again. Because it came back with fresh eyes, it then allows me to maybe see another part or another arm
Yeah.
and then I can grow that, and then I'll put it down again.
Yeah.
Do you have a morning ritual? I know you are.
Cheese on bread.
I know you are a fantastic, award-winning distance runner.
Oh my goodness.
So can you even have a morning ritual, being a person that trains early in the morning, and then you have your other components of your life, being a mother and a wife?
Well,
can you even have a morning
I would have
ritual?
a better morning ritual if it was just me alone. That would be amazing. But running actually helps me clear my head, and I think while I run. So I might think, oh, I know I have to do this. I know I have to do this. I got to do this thing. Let me think about how I'm going to do that. So by the time I get back home, I'm like, okay, cool. I've sorted that part out. Having kids though is like noise, distractions, just vomit. And it's like, you know, it's until you've been able to drop them at school or whatever, you really can't do any of your own time stuff.
Okay. So you drop your kids to school. You're back, and you have on short pants.
Yeah.
So
turn on the computer.
Turn on the computer.
Emails.
First thing.
Action emails.
First thing
would be, I don't usually when I finish a day, I've finished. Sometimes, I mean, yeah, there are things that will take a few days to do, so I'll be like, well, I know what I was working on and what I need to deliver today, so let me start with that. But usually it's check emails. Did anything happen? Did an explosion occur that I need to, like, you know, fire extinguish or?
I guess that's because you work for clients. So you then have to make sure that they're happy.
Yeah.
And then that sets your day.
Yeah. And I really I'm really relationship driven in a way. So when you say make them happy, I like to know that I'm making people happy. Because don't you think it should be a relationship that you have with your clients? Like, if you are not happy, like, doing work with me, then maybe it's not working. I don't know, you know?
I agree. Because I spend a lot of time in the retail industry, and in that industry, your customers, they need to have a person-to-person relationship with you rather than a transactional relationship.
Yes,
and I find that works best for me, at least.
Yeah.
Because if it's just Carlie buying from a store, it's a little colder.
Yeah.
But when it's Carlie buying from Corey, it then connects the two of us.
Exactly.
And we can talk about branding, we can talk about advertising, we can talk about all that stuff, but I always find that if there's a person-to-person connection, then there is a more tangible, a stronger bond between the customer and the business.
You're gonna keep getting work if it's personal. I mean, like, I always think people don't realize how replaceable they are. I mean, like, I don't ever for a day think that, you know, if you started doing crappy work, you started not having good relationships with your clients, your quality is down, that you can't just be replaced by someone else who's really working hard for it, you know?
If all things remain
If
equal,
everything was,
and all competitors do equal work, then your only advantage is the connection that you can create with your customer.
Which is kind of like a brand in a way. I know you just started saying it, but like, if everybody sold the exact same apples, you're really gonna go for the one with the brand that speaks to you, like the sticker that is the prettiest.
So then that's the thing, that brand then translates that relationship, that person-to-person relationship, in a situation where it would otherwise be business to customer.
Yeah.
Right? And rather than simply being a logo. So your brand is not just your logo, it's not just your name, it is the connection that you can create with your customer.
I think if you're like an entrepreneur and you are selling a service in a way, and you're selling yourself in a way, because that's kind of, I don't sell a retail product, you know, I sell myself and what I can do with my brain. That's what I sell. So maybe that's my logo is me.
So how do you balance work and life?
Oh my god, I don't. I really need to work on that because I work from home.
But
I'm always at work.
Is there such a thing then?
So work is my life. There is a thing. There is such a thing, I think. But like, I love to work. Like, I have to work. If I stopped working, I would have to work. If that makes sense to you. Like, I can't stop. When I was in 5th form, 6th form, I was working too, I was going to school and I had a job because I just need to work all the time.
Plus, it helps to pay for effects.
Correct. Personal effects. There you go.
Effects. Yeah. Okay, so there isn't a this is home time. This is work.
Sometimes, as you know, I often do not answer my phone.
Yes.
Because if I'm sitting having a conversation with my son, I am not going to answer my phone because that is time that I will never, ever, ever get back, ever. I can always go back to my phone and respond later. I'm getting a little better at it and making that separation, but I'm always working. So I can't say there's at 5 p.m. I shut down, or I might shut down at 5 p.m. but then at 8 o'clock go back and just check my email again just to make sure.
And you don't find it's a slippery slope that you could...
Such a slippery slope.
That you could accidentally, just wake up and just start checking your email.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, this morning I was up really, really early. I was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and I was just doing some work because it was so quiet and delightful.
Personally, I realize that sometimes you need to make a hard line. Like, for many years, I was known that I do not work on Sunday, and I didn't realize how widely known it had become until someone called me one day and said, "Hi Corey, I know this is family day, but..."
Oh yeah.
I said, "But I don't
You're
remember."
like, respect.
I don't remember having this conversation. But what had happened was, I at one point decided Sunday is family day. That's the day that I drink my coffee and grill and spend time with the wife and the dog, and we go for walks and go to the beach and blah, blah, blah.
Delightful.
It's delightful.
I need one of those.
You need one of those.
But I'm the only thing stopping myself. Like you said, you have to put that boundary in place,
but
and people will notice
the
it.
The difference between what you said about yourself and me is, I need the downtime in order for my brain to work. So I need to turn off. And I found that if I don't take at least one day away from work,
Isn't it sad that you just want one day, whereas most people get 2 days and lots of afternoons?
I mean, at least one day. If I can take one day away from work, then all is great. But if that day is consumed with work, I realize by Tuesday I am completely smashed, totally tired, and my output is completely diminished. And that's something that I've realized over the years. It's something that I guess it's something that you realize when you spend time with yourself. So, like when I teach, I teach my students that you need to spend some time in meditation. You need to know yourself, know your values, understand how you work.
Meditate.
You don't have to sit still. Running
that's time
can
with
be your
myself.
meditation. Right. So that's me.
Yeah.
And the important thing is to know how you work best, because then you can optimize yourself. I am not a morning person. Not at all.
You're a late night person?
I am a late night person, and I have friends that tell me that I don't sleep because I might get a brainstorm at 11
Gotta
p.m.
follow it or it's wasted.
Exactly. I might get a brainstorm at 11 p.m. and I hit the whiteboard and it's all over. So you gotta know yourself. Do not call me before I've had my coffee in the morning, because I am no help to you. I can't have a full conversation. So we talked about work, we talked about work-life balance, you talked about your creativity. What is success?
What is success?
To you?
To me, personally. Success is, I think, respect from peers is one thing that means something, you know. The ability to be comfortable, for sure, in terms of like your material effects, as we say, that's definitely part of success to me. And to feel as though, hey, I kind of know what I'm talking about, you know, when you start to get a little experience and you kind of look back at where you've come from and you go, shoot, I actually know like a few things now. Like I actually know a little bit. Like I feel like that's definitely the makings of success.
Are you successful?
No, not yet. I'm 30. So, I mean, while I've put in some good time already for my age, I think, I still got enough places to go. Like I still have a lot of years in me, hopefully, that I can do more.
So you put on your short pants, you turn
In
on
my
your
short
computer,
pants, that's all we
and
can
you let it grow, and you work with your deadline, and
Yeah.
you submit your fantastic
Microsoft Word documents.
your fantastic piece of creative.
Excel.
What happens when they don't like it? When it's wrong?
That doesn't happen. No, just kidding. Because I detach myself from work in that way. Like, you have to like it because I did it. Maybe it's not what someone was looking for, so just do it again. Like, do it. Think, what is it that they're asking me? Not what do I feel like giving them, but what is it they want from me? You want this, you want it red, you don't want it blue, I gave you blue, sorry, here it is red. Just because somebody doesn't like it doesn't mean it wasn't good. It just wasn't what they wanted. So just, trust me, I got thick skin. I'm not personally offended when people are like, I don't like it.
So you separate yourself
Yeah.
from your work.
Yeah.
For what you create.
Yeah, because people might not like things that are genius. This happens often, you know?
Okay, so sometimes you have to go against what you think is the direction.
In terms of what I think would be the right thing to do, the good direction to take.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think you have to give people what they want, even though you're like, oh, you could do so much better with whatever, just because that's maybe they're looking for a certain thing. Sometimes you might know, I could have done this, like this would have been so good if we just did this, but what are you gonna do? On to the next one.
Okay. I found, for me, sometimes, say, with a graphic designer, because I'm not a graphic designer, I explain what I think.
I use lots of very lovely jargon, like, that line looks wonky. When I speak to graphic designers.
Oh no,
You're like,
wonky is fine. I've sent an email to my graphic designer and said, it's not singing to me.
I would love you. Because I feel like I would get what you mean. Whereas I could see a lot of people being like, I don't know what that means.
But that's the thing.
Is it supposed to make noise?
But that's
Whereas
the
I
thing.
know what you mean.
It's
You want
like,
it to just...
Right. The thing is, it's like, when you find someone to work with that understands you, then it just makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've worked with numerous graphic designers, and I've told them I want a red line. They've given me a red line, but
You're gonna really want a red line.
but then you see it, it's like
You're
it's
probably on
okay.
that Plants from Hell website.
It's-
It's like when people put up their stories of things people have told them to do that. Just kidding.
So then you look at it, it's like, okay, I said I wanted a red line. You gave me a red line. I'm not 100% happy, but you gave me what I asked for.
Yeah.
But I can't verbalize.
You can't verbalize what it is you want.
Right.
You know it when you see it, though.
You know it when you see it. And I've worked with graphic designers that were able to give me what I wanted rather than what I said.
Yeah.
And that's
Hold on to
priceless.
that, man.
That's
Yeah,
priceless.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about what success would look like for you in the future. What would you tell your younger self? So look back, 16-year-old Carlie leaving college, Harrison College. Not Harrison's, Harrison College. And what would you tell her?
Oh my gosh. Maybe to do a little more business, but it hasn't ever been a problem for me. Maybe to have more of a business background is what I'm really saying, as opposed to the creative background. Not only, but maybe I wouldn't tell her to do anything different, because sometimes you need your old self to make your old mistakes then, so that you can learn But no. And I think, I mean, I honestly worked really hard for a long time. I still am, but I don't know if many people know that. Like, I was talking about working while I was in sixth form, you know, doing exams. I did a 4-year degree in 3 years because I took courses on top of courses. I did school all summer. I worked, at one point I was working 7 days a week doing different jobs. This is during like a Christmas vacation. Like, I was just cutting in the time. So I don't think I would want to change that at all, because that in those years really made a difference to me now.
So workaholic then workaholic now.
Yeah, workaholic then workaholic now.
Okay. Workaholic.
Hopefully I won't dead before I get to do a little fun things.
Well, I guess you could squeeze them in every now and
But I
then.
love what I do, right? That's the difference.
That's the difference.
So I don't really work. I have orange hair. I have tattoos. If on a day I felt like going to the beach for an hour, I have that freedom and that luxury, because what I can do, call in sick to myself, you know.
You might get
fired. Get fired from myself.
You might fire yourself.
I might fire myself. No, I can only fire my husband. Just kidding. So that's a real luxury that a lot of people don't have. You know.
Where do we find out about you online?
Don't look for me anywhere.
Where are you hiding online?
I'm hiding currently mostly on Instagram.
You're on Instagram.
That's my thing right now, is Instagram.
What's your handle?
At Carlie Esther.
You're at Carlie Esther.
I don't really use Facebook, but it's there. But you know, honestly, the best way to contact me is through email, because I love emails so much. I really do. I love to see words written down and amassed and sent to me personally. It's so, don't call me.
So you're keeping the email revolution alive.
100%. Email is like my.
Okay. So, Carlie Esther Pipe, Creek Productions, and your unnamed project that you're working on. And we didn't talk about the wind down. We didn't talk about the wind down.
Oh yeah, I did the wind down too.
We didn't talk about the wind down.
Because why would I leave this on radio where no one can see it?
Exactly.
Come on, people.
We didn't talk about wind down. Give me the backstory of wind down.
The backstory was I'm doing radio for a little while, and I said, like, as an announcer, I mean, I was like, man, I want to do some video stuff. Like, I love video. Another thing I always loved was directing and writing scripts and working with video. So I was like, I want to do some video. So I went and spoke to Yahaira from Loop News. And I was like, let's make a concept. We started talking about what we wanted to do. We built the wind down. I got Erin in on it because she works at Slam with me, and she had a good vibe. I really liked her vibe. So, and wine is fun, so why not?
Okay. So you did the first season. You're on break now.
We're on pause right now. Pause to Feb, and then come back fresh.
Okay. How many episodes did you do in the first season?
We did 13.
13 episodes, so full season, more than Game of Thrones. And you are gearing up and getting set for season 2?
Yeah.
Excellent. So Wind Down is on YouTube?
It's on, if you go on loopnewsbarbados.com, you can find it on there, on their website, on Loop's website. It's the best place.
All right. Thanks for coming on the show, Carlie. And thank you guys for watching Refuel.